Hello everyone, welcome to SPS Reacts. Today we are going to react to one of my favorite channels, and there's this video on the Ambani wedding, which was the talk of the town for the last couple of months or so. So let's get into it. Let's understand what are the business implications and why was this wedding done in terms of business terms, and I'll give you my two bits on that then. Okay, here we go.
And while the entire nation is trying to contemplate the scale and opulence of the Ambanis, there are two schools of contrasting thoughts that have emerged all across the country. While on one side, there is a segment that believes that it is a complete waste of money and the Ambanis are setting the wrong example.
You have wealth, but yeah, we get it, you have wealth. That's it, right? There's no need to show off that much.
They're doing way too much. I think now they're just showing off.
On the other side, there is just absolute appreciation and astonishment for the sheer scale and opulence of the wedding because they see it as a testament to the Indian ambition and achievement.
The opulent wedding of the son of India's richest man.
Asia's richest man is throwing his youngest son a lavish wedding in Mumbai.
From Bollywood stars to FIFA bosses to Tony Blair to Boris Johnson, the Ambani wedding has brought them all together.
It's a wedding so massive, so mega, even the warm-up events put the royals to shame.
Thanks to the Ambani family,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
here
it's up
tonight.
to
But
shape.
you know what, guys? While most people see this event as just another wedding, what they often forget is that this wedding is giving India an insane power advantage. And if replicated by all billionaires, it could boost our exports and save thousands of crores in taxpayers' money. Seems difficult, right? Well, guess what? The British press has actually used their royal wedding as a carefully crafted marketing strategy for decades.
Great Steward of Scotland has finally chosen his bride. She is Lady Diana Spencer, and their engagement is the news Britain has been waiting for.
By 8 o'clock, police estimated 900,000 people were already out in central London.
I, Diana Francis, take the Philip Charles Arthur George to my wedded husband.
And into the
Yeah,
afternoon
we know how
sunshine
that
there came
ends.
Prince Charles and the new
But
Princess of Wales, smiling and
the
looking
wedding was
wonderfully relaxed.
Look at these numbers. In 2011, the American Super Bowl was viewed by 111 million people, whereas the royal wedding of Kate Middleton and Prince Harry was viewed by 160 million people. In 2018,
Nah.
while the FIFA World Cup final was
It's much
viewed by 1.1 billion people, the royal wedding of Meghan and Prince Harry was viewed by
God.
1.9 billion people. So
These
these
two are-
events aren't just fairy tales, they are billion-dollar marketing campaigns that have brought immense benefits to the UK economy. And this is because of a strange power that a country
Those
acquires,
numbers definitely.
which the Harvard professor Joseph Nye defines as soft power. So the question is, what is this concept of soft power? How is this Ambani wedding in any way associated with boosting Indian exports? How did the royals of UK create a billion-dollar return using these weddings? And most importantly, what are the lessons that India needs to learn from this iconic marketing strategy? Before we move on, let me thank our partners Odoo for supporting our content. People, Odoo is an all-in-one management software that provides a range of applications that help businesses simplify their day-to-day management
Let's just get the further.
requirements. Community days. So whether you are familiar with meet the Odoo team, forgettable moment for free. Concerts, the importance of the Ambani wedding, we first need to understand the meaning of something called soft power and hard power. Hard power is when a country uses its military might, economic might, or political influence to control or benefit from a country. The best example for this is China and Pakistan. In the past few years, if you've seen China first used its debt trap strategy to give unreasonable loans worth $26.5 billion to Pakistan. And then they used their economic might to give contracts to Chinese builders with Chinese workers. And eventually, they used their military might to take control of the Gwadar port in Pakistan.
The Pakistan cabinet has transferred the operations responsibility of the
I
Godar port
think
from
there is
Singapore.
even some upfront payment on it. You got almost 98% of the people who are going to be Chinese. So your labor skill set does not improve. You're probably losing a lot of land. And, because of instability in these countries, usually you're not able to even, make any kind of projects a success. They're doomed for failure. So basically, you're selling out a part of your ports to China, and that's how they've used it in Sri Lanka. They've used it in Greece, I think, as well, and there are many other places where this plot keeps on going in African nations. Well, India, of course, shows the alternate way, where you can have only 10% of Indians and actually teach the local population how to construct a particular project, be it a dam or be it anything, and have that cultural exchange and technology or rather skill set transfer that happens in these cases. Uh, that makes very good, goodwill with different kind of countries. We see that with Afghanistan, and we see that with other countries as well. So Papua New Guinea, all of these countries. So let's see. Our diplomacy is a little different, but China's strategy, Pakistan is going down the drain because of this. Anyways, let's continue.
China.
China is exploiting developing economies.
The PLA Navy is the largest in terms of numbers of surface ships and vessels.
The Chinese policy in Africa is often described as a debt trap. Experts say it is a part of a deliberate strategy to loan unmanageable sums to African countries.
Similarly, US invaded Iraq in 2003 using its military might to exercise control over Iraq. And this is exactly what Russia is doing to Ukraine. This is what you call as hard power. But if you look at soft power, it is a method to influence a country not with military might, but with appeal and culture. And the best example of soft power is the rise of South Korea.
The success of the South Korean film Parasite, just named Best Picture at the Oscars, is expected to give another boost to the Korean wave.
Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Squid Game. A gory dystopian thriller on track to be the most watched streaming sensation ever.
BTS.
One of the best examples of this soft power expansion, of course, there was a bit of hard power also. There's also hard power in that, but the cultures that you will see in the ASEAN countries, the Hindu influences, be it Thailand, be it Bali, most of these people think of it that is their culture. And the Chola Empire actually was fantastic at spreading the culture and benefiting wherever they went. I think that's one of the best things about the kind of warfare that ancient India had. But anyways, let's continue.
This last concert in Seoul created nearly as much economic gains as the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics in early 2018.
You see, back in the early 2000s, South Korea was largely known for its cars and smartphones. And this is because of Hyundai and Samsung. But today, when I mention South Korea, most people think of K-pop, BTS, South Korean beauty products, and Squid Games. And do you realize none of these entities were popular 5 years back? So the question is, suddenly, how did this transition happen and how is it helping South Korea become more powerful? Well, this transformation started in 1994 when President Kim was told that the movie Jurassic Park generated as much revenue as the export of 1.5 million Hyundai cars. I repeat, the movie Jurassic Park generated as much revenue as the export of 1.5 million Hyundai cars. And the reason why Jurassic Park did so well all across the world was because they had a very strong foundation of the American movie industry's distribution as well as the American cultural influence all across the world. And that is when the government of South Korea realized that the exporting of culture and influence is very, very important. And the best part is you don't need an army budget or an expensive factory to have this cultural influence over other countries. So the South Korean government introduced special policies to support export-focused cultural industries. For example, they expanded their budget for cultural industry from $14 million in 1998 to $84 million in 2001. And they increased subsidies for several cultural startups across the country. So soon enough, South Korea started exporting content to the world in the form of music, drama series, and movies. And this is where we saw the rise of K-pop drama and the world-famous music band, which we all know today as BTS. And with the rise of these content pieces that hit the right chord with the audience, 4 crazy things happened for South Korea. Number 1, the South Korean drama and movies fascinated the people around the world so much that tourism to South Korea started spiking. If you see this chart, the arrivals of tourists in South Korea shot up from 8.8 million in 2010 to 17.5 million in 2019. This resulted into billions of dollars of economic output for South Korea. Number 2, South Korean exports began to rise by billions of dollars. In fact, if you see this chart, the South Korean skincare cosmetic exports has exploded from $320 million in 2011 to $3.82 billion in 2023.
Korea's outbound shipment of cosmetics reached $2.3 billion in Q1 this year, which is a surge by almost 22% from the same quarter last year, as well as the year before, when the figure stood at $1.9 billion.
K-entertainment as well has played a key role in popularizing Korean culture around the world.
The demand for Korean beauty products, or K-beauty, continues to rise.
And the reason why it shot up so much is because the K-pop movies and series have fascinated people with their beautiful skin. And when you see the macro picture, it's even crazier. The boy band BTS alone has generated $3.67 billion for the South Korean economy, and it has resulted into a job creation for 8,000 people. This is the combined impact of BTS alone on exports, consumption, and tourism. Similarly, Netflix is now planning to invest $2.5 billion into just South Korean projects, and the global K-pop beauty market is projected to be worth $18.32 billion by 2030. And last,
what? From $3.2 billion to $18 billion in another 6 years? These are some serious jumps.
Last and most importantly, while countries like India are worried about brain drain, South Korea is witnessing brain gain, whereby people from all around the world are coming to South Korea to study. If you don't believe me, look at this chart. If you look at the number of people appearing for a topic, which is like their version of TOEFL, you will see that the number of people taking the test has increased from 106,000 in 2010 to 375,000 in 2019. So while we are losing the smartest people in the country to brain drain, South Korea is able to attract talent, which first spends money on education, gets a job, and then pays taxes to the South Korean economy. This is how South Korea has used its soft power to extract $1 billion output without military might and without an economic might. They've done that merely by exporting culture and appeal all across the world. This is what you call as soft power. Now the question over here is, soft power is practiced by a country, that is fine. But how can soft power be developed with a single wedding? And why do I say that all billionaires in India must celebrate their wedding with the same opulence as that of the Ambanis? Well, that is because, ladies and gentlemen, the royal wedding of UK has actually laid out $1 billion playbook on how to use a wedding to generate $1 billion output for the GDP. And here's where the magical stat that I told you comes into play. So in 2011, while the climax of the American Super Bowl was viewed by 111 million people, the Kate Middleton wedding was watched by 72 million people on YouTube alone and 116 million people in total. Similarly, in 2018, while the final of the FIFA World Cup was viewed by 1.1 billion people, the Meghan Markle wedding was seen by 1.9 billion people.
Right.
So practically 1/3.
Alright, guys, this would be the part one. We're gonna stop here and we're gonna move to the next one after a while. So see you in the next video. This is seriously insightful on how the South Korean government has used soft power, and soft power has always been a great power, and because of the US, how it has projected soft power across the world, and how people view the United States as the land of dreams, the American dream, land of the free and the brave. So this is something that is very important. I think India is moving towards that, and this could be a landmark moment. So let's see the other half in the next part. Till then, see you guys. Thank you.